Okay, welcome to Physical Science Test Podcast Part 1 here. First of all, let's do a reminder. Those of you that have the odd periods, which would be third period, fifth period, and seventh period, your test is going to be on next Monday, December 19th. And those of you on the even periods, 2 for Mr. Windmiller, 4 and 6, you're going to be on Tuesday, December 20th. Okay, we're going to go right in order of our study guide and start with Chapter 3. We're going to begin with identifying what a pure compound and substance are. So we'll start with a substance, as that is just a single kind of matter that is pure and always has a specific makeup. So your example is going to be your table salt, good for the French fries. A compound is a substance made of 2 or more elements that are chemically combined. And see if you recognize. Yes, you're correct. Carbon dioxide. We've got one carbon, 2 oxygen here for our CO2. So our pure substance, and then we have our compound, which is 2 or more elements that are chemically combined. Next item, 2 types of mixtures and what their differences are. Heterogeneous, we talk about that. We talk about the E's in heterogeneous and that we can see the E's, the different parts of the mixture. The example is a pizza, one of our favorites. Another is the homogeneous, and that's where we cannot see the different parts. And our example is either sugar or salt, water. As that dissolves, we cannot see the different parts. And we've got our O's here for no, cannot see the different parts. All right, so we have these mixtures. How can we separate them? Well, we've got 4 different ones here on our screen. We'll start up here in the top. We have our solids can be separated from liquids by pouring the mixture through a filter. Well, we did that in the lab. That's going to be filtration for sure. If I go counterclockwise, I can go over here. Iron objects can be separated from a mixture using a magnet, and that's going to be magnetic attraction. You can see each of these up here. Excuse me, next one here. When left in the open air, liquid solutions can change the gas. So this is, if you remember, we had our salt water, even sugar water, and that is going to be evaporation. And finally, our contraption here, as we boil these liquids, the liquid boils into a gas, the gas cools, so it's going to run up through here, down this tube, and as it cools, it's going to form a separated liquid. This is going to be distillation. So here are our 4 ways that we can separate a mixture. Okay, as we continue on here, still in Chapter 3, how to determine the volume of an irregular object. Well, we're going to use a graduated cylinder. And just as we did in the lab, we're going to fill that graduated cylinder first with, you usually decide. If it's 100 milliliters, a lot of times we put in our 50. We're going to drop that object down. We've got a nice little cruiser car here that we've dropped in. And then we are going to subtract the volume of that water from where we started. So if we started at 50, if we started at 40, let's say, and it went to 45, then our answer is 5 milliliters. Next up, identifying an unknown object based on its density. Well, remember, density is a physical property of a substance. So it's going to be constant. So we can actually find the mass, divide that by the volume, and compare that to the objects that we know, and we can identify an unknown object. We want to identify and know the difference between chemical and physical changes and properties. As I look at my timer here, it looks like we're finishing up for podcast number 1. So we're going to go ahead and stop. We're going to complete this with part 2.